Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your NXT Takeover 30 preview and predictions. I can't believe there have already been 29 of these things and we are actually on number 30. I don't even know if they're counting NXT Arrival, which was the first actual like NXT network special that wasn't even a takeover yet, because the second one was literally just called NXT Takeover. But we are on Takeover 30. I don't know if they're, again, if it's really 30 or if Takeover Arrival would have been counted as number one, or however, I don't know how they're counting it. I would literally have to spend the time to go back and look. I'm not going to do that right now. But we do have 6 matches that we will be predicting today, one of which will take place on the kickoff. And personally, I feel like they're missing out on a good, like, maybe 2, maybe even 3 matches that they could have had on this card, but because they always try and keep their takeover cards so condensed so that they can bloat up their matches and have like 20+ minute matches across the board, they only have 5 matches on the main show and of course the kickoff match. So we've got 6 matches to talk about today. John, how stoked, again, we like to always do the scale of 1 to 10 hype level for these shows. How stoked are you for Takeover 30, dude?
You know, dude, I really look at this card, and I mean, you include the kickoff, and that's 6, and I would, because it seems like a decent kickoff that I think is the chance to tell a really cool story, which we'll get into that in a few moments. But even if you just looked at the main card, right, put the kickoff to the side, this is a really compact, because you know I love the smaller cards, and I know you do too, but it really packs a punch. Like, I feel like every match on here has a reason to be there. Some paths I wish they would have taken a bit differently to get to that destination, but the point is they got there. And I think ultimately I look at this card, and even the last minute edition of Balor versus Thatcher, I think my hype honestly is at like, I'd say a 9.5 out of 10 is what I keep coming back to.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah,
that is intense right there. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they've done really well bringing these stories together. And my hype, I want to make clear too, isn't so much based on outcome, except for maybe one match, which I think we all know what that is. But yeah, it really is like a solid, well-constructed card that's narratively coherent. Like, I wish all WWE shows and not just NXT were like this, because I don't even know where I'm going to fall on SummerSlam. We'll need to really break down the full card and everything. But yeah, for this, I think it's going to be a great time, dude. I really do. Where are you at?
You know, I just want to, rip the Band-Aid off. I'm nowhere near as hyped for this as you are, but I am still excited. I still think that we're going to get some really good matches here. I think my hype level is being just a little bit generous at around a 7.5.
Okay, wow. So this is actually a show, because normally the disparity between us is like 0.5 to 1 point.
Yeah.
It's really not that wide.
Yeah.
But this could actually be a whole 2 points. Because, yeah, honestly, dude, I was thinking about this card earlier, and I'm like, man, I'm really hyped for the North American Championship ladder match, which I will come out right now and say that is the match I'm most looking forward to. But then I thought about the other matches on this card, and I'm like, they really don't deserve to be just put in the corner either. Like, they're really coming and, like, we're doing it. So, yeah, man, I really hope it's a fun 2.5 hours.
I think my excitement level for this show would probably go up by a full point if you swapped out Dream for Loomis in that match.
Agreed. Definitely agree. And I think, like, honestly, Dream is why it's not a full 10 out of 10, because, like, I fucking hate that he's in that match. We're not going to get into that. But I do agree. If Loomis was still competing, I felt like the prospect of him being in that ladder match made it so interesting. Yeah. And, here it's... So, but even in spite of that, this is one hell of a card, I think.
I think I've found a nickname that, people have been making with Dream that I, kind of latched onto. Velveteenager Dream.
Yeah. I mean, I was just going to refer to him when we got to the match as the guy that Finn Balor photoshopped a bag of trash onto, which seemed appropriate. Yeah. So, yeah, let's get right into this card.
Did you see the Deadspin article earlier today?
No.
Oh, dude, I retweeted it and everything. I'm surprised you didn't see it. Someone who writes for Deadspin put up an article. Let me see if I can find my own retweet here. Twitter. Oh, there it is.
Oh God, I see it.
Yeah,
Oh,
WWE
God.
allows alleged child sex predator to waltz back into the ring like nothing happened. Deadspin covered that shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm really wondering how long it's going to take for WWE to realize that they have a toxic asset on their hands and just cut ties.
Yeah, well, like, either just cut ties or do what you should have done in the beginning, allow a formal investigation to happen, because I've heard police haven't even gone back on the issue, which, I mean, I could go into a whole other commentary about that.
Yeah.
Like, every institution that could have done something about this has been an utter failure, and that's why...
Q&A, the reason that cancel culture exists is because the proper investigative authorities don't do their fucking jobs.
Yes! Yes, see, thank you. You saved us 50 minutes. That's fucking it right there. And rather than blaming fucking Vince, why don't you just go to the cops? I did, and they were like, we can't do anything, or we'll get back to you, and then they don't. Like, this is why this shit happens. So I don't want to talk about it anymore in preview predictions. I want to keep hype. I want it to be a good atmosphere. But yeah, fuck all that noise. So let's get into the kickoff match here, man. Let's talk about Takeover 30.
Yeah. Well, before we do get into the kickoff match, I just want to kind of touch on why my excitement level isn't higher. So Balor Thatcher, I'm excited for without a doubt. Cole McAfee, I think, is one of those weird cases where I was way more into the build than I'm going to be into the match, so I can't really say I'm stoked for the match itself, because it's still like an outsider coming in and trying to not look incompetent in a wrestling ring. So, like, I'm really not stoked for that match as much as I fucking loved the build to it. I think Io versus Dakota, we'll talk about that later, but I just think it's hard to believe Dakota Kai is a legit challenger. The only reason that I'll have any belief that she can win that match is because of Raquel being at her side. Already told you about the four-way, and then Lee Kross, that's definitely my most anticipated match by far, but I'm also kind of worried that they put themselves in a lose-lose position here, because no matter who wins, they're killing someone's momentum that they didn't need to, because with Lee, if he wins, then suddenly Karrion Kross no longer looks like a threat. He got rocket shipped to the moon immediately, then the fucking ship exploded, and now he's back on Earth. But if Kross wins, Keith Lee had like a stunningly short title reign that he definitely deserved better than. So it's like, no matter what you do there, unless and hell, if you go to a non-finish, people are going to be pissed about that too. So no matter what you do there, you kind of booked yourselves into a lose-lose corner. But the match itself, holy hell, I'm stoked for the match itself. But that just kind of covers all my bases. Let's get into talking about the pre-show match. We have Breezango versus Lorcan and Burch versus Legado del Fantasma, Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza.
I'm just going to be really quick about this, if you don't mind. I think Breezango wins here. I really want them to be the next NXT Tag Team Champions, because I think the whole story is through the injuries and everything. I don't think either one of them have really held gold, like, formally in WWE's, like, main system. You know, they've been a team for several years now. Like, the story's all there. They've got the drama. They've got the heartbreak. You know, they've been diligent underdogs every single time. And then you put the titles on Breezango, and then I would go back to Legado del Fantasma, because they've already kind of had brushes with them. So, you know, you make the tag team scene, even if we're kind of beyond like a workhorse era right now of, like, you know, Viking Raiders and fucking Undisputed Era, which I know they're still there, but, you know, they just got the tag title shot, whatever. We could still have a new era, though, of kind of unsung tag teams, or kind of under the radar, which I honestly wouldn't mind. So I want Breezango to win Contendership, and then I want him to win the titles. That's where I'm at.
Breezango,
and I think they will.
I kind of dig that. Didn't Breezango already lose to Imperium, though, in this title reign?
And that's what I'm saying, though. Like, they lost one, and then they get another shot, and then they make that shot count. And then let's also not forget that I do believe they lost because there was interference and shenanigans. So, from Malcolm Bivens and his team at the time.
Oh, so, God. They haven't even been around.
Exactly. So, yeah, I just think that the grand story is with Breezango here, and that's why I'm picking them to win.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is one of those matches where I almost feel like I have to pick cynically, because in my mind, Breeze and Dango already lost. I don't think that they're going to win again or get a shot again while Imperium have the titles. Like, in my mind, if they were to do that, it would feel more like it should be like a blood feud. Like they're really like they have like a personal vendetta against Imperium and they just don't care about them. They just want the titles. So to me, that's like, I don't want a second match this soon.
Yeah.
And Legado del Fantasma are heels, and I don't buy heel versus heel in that situation. So by fucking default at this point, you know, it comes down to Burch and Lorcan, and I'm not excited for them getting a title shot, frankly, because I don't give a shit about Danny Burch, and I think that he wastes a spot and doesn't really bring anything to the table that is special. I think he's like a fucking Brandon Cutler in AEW. Like, he's a guy who has a job just because. He doesn't do anything that makes him stand out. He doesn't do anything that makes me go like, wow, yeah, that guy really deserves that roster spot. I'm really glad that he's a part of the team. No, he's just a guy. He's literally just a nobody. Only Lorcan, I love. I think his fire and his intensity and his like enthusiasm are all great. I think that he's really, really good at what he does. He's stiff as hell, and he's perfectly capable of working those like strong style, New Japan style matches, and I love him for it. Burch just bores the shit out of me. So anytime Danny Burch is in the ring, I'm more likely to not care. But I still think they're going to win this match because of like, again, kind of a default thing. Like the other two people that are, or the two teams that are in this match, I think are just less likely to win. Whereas with Burch and Lorcan, they haven't had a shot yet, and it's just like a whatever filler kind of thing to me.
Yeah, you know what? I can understand that, man.
And you know, it's funny. I say it's a whatever filler kind of thing, but I also wouldn't be surprised even if they won the titles, because they've been around for so long, and NXT could very easily just be like, hey guys, thanks for your service, here's a reward, and they give them the tag titles for no reason.
Yeah, I actually could really see that, man. I think you're onto something there. It's a shame, too, because I like Oni a lot. I agree with your assessment of him. I'd be far more interested in him if he was in the North American Championship mix right now, but he's just stuck in this tag team. I mean, hell, the thing that he did with Thatcher was the most interesting thing he's done all year. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Breezango, but I totally get your reasons for Team 1-2, Lorcan and Burch here. So, yeah, I guess we can move on to our main card.
Yeah, it really feels like NXT has completely deprioritized the tag division as a whole. Like, I remember when the tag division was the shit in NXT, when they had American Alpha and fucking the Vaudevillains and the Revival and all that shit, and they were on fire. And even when AOP joined up, they were still putting on fire matches and fucking DIY. Like, that was the shit. And now it's like Imperium have had the titles for what, like 4 months now, and they've had like 2 defenses, and they've been kind of boring as shit.
Dude, it's such a shame too, because I think I was especially vocal like in our team here about like how much I loved NXT's tag team division like back when they actually did care. Yeah. Like I honestly feel like it was one of my favorite divisions, and it's weird in like I would say around that time it was probably like 2019 to say that like, oh yeah, the tag division is my favorite division in like WWE's NXT, but like they had so many fire matches. And always good about giving them time and everything. And Imperium should have been a better team. Like, because like I feel like they've got the components, not the components of like an Undisputed Era, say, or whatever. But like, yeah, or War Raiders. But they could have had their own special reign. It's just WWE was just like, nah, we'll put them on you just to put them on you. But you're just gonna be lukewarm champs, and it's really a shame.
All right. Let's get into the main card now. Let's talk about the first match on here, which is also the most meaningless match. This is the match that doesn't have any championship gold on the line. It hasn't been a boiling blood feud over the course of a few weeks. It didn't get set up on a fucking radio show. It's not going to be bringing any more eyes to the product, but it's still going to be one hell of a match, and I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up being the best match of the entire show. Timothy Thatcher versus Finn Balor.
Well, since I went first on the pre-show, give us your thoughts, man.
I'm really stoked about this, if you couldn't tell by my hype for it before. Like, I don't care how meaningless it is. I don't care if it's a fucking anti-draw as far as ratings go. I don't give a shit. This match is going to kick ass, and I'm stoked for it. I love both guys, especially Thatcher right now. And really, given that Balor isn't in the North American Championship picture and he's not really in the World Championship picture anymore, I think Thatcher's winning this.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this, but I'm going to go the opposite of you, and I'm going to say Finn, because even though he's not in the picture, the North American Championship is his preoccupation. So I could see him beating Thatcher, quickly putting Thatcher behind him. And then,
dude, I don't know if you remember, but when Keith Lee won the double championship, I wanted Thatcher to be the one to take it off of him, to take the North American Championship off of him.
Right.
I do want Thatcher to be in the North American title picture, and he was in one of the qualifiers. And if I remember correctly, was he the one?
Well, he ate the finish to Loomis because it was Balor, Loomis, and Thatcher.
He passed out. That's right.
Yeah, he passed out, and then Balor assaulted him after the match, and then that's kind of what led to this because
that's right.
Thatcher then was like, surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah,
blindsided Balor.
So well, you know what? Yeah, that's a very heelish move. I like that, but still, I really want Thatcher to be in the North American Championship picture. I really want him to hold that title. Like I don't know if he's ever going to be an NXT World Champion because he kind of lacks the aesthetics that they usually go for that. But I think he can definitely be a North American champion. And I think in the main roster, he's a really fucking strong mid-card champion. And if they really want to push him as a heel, potential world champion. So I just think Thatcher has a lot going for him. And big fan. And I think he needs it a hell of a lot more than Finn does right now. So I think Thatcher's going to win here.
Can I just put you on the spot real quick?
Yeah.
If you're picking Thatcher, are you... okay, so it's like a two-part question. Are you treating this as like a de facto number one contenders match for the North American Championship? And if so,
no.
Does this prediction have any bearing on who you think is going to win the ladder match? Like, is there a relationship between the two?
No and no. I think.
Okay.
I don't think it's a de facto number one contendership match. Just because I think that there are so many potential contenders for the North American Championship. I think to call this between these two guys that lost their qualifying matches a number one contendership match would be pretty vain. I think it would be like, well, there's this match between these two upper mid-card guys, so I guess it's a number one contendership match. No, I don't like that idea. Now, to be fair, that could also just be my opinion. Maybe NXT is going to look at it as that, and they're going to treat it as that, and the winner is going to be the next one in line. I don't know that, but if it was up to me, it wouldn't be.
Okay. Like I said, I've been struggling in this match, and I was about to say, but I am glad you finished and elaborated your points because I really did like your line of argument. That I was just gonna go with Finn to win, but then I've really been thinking about Finn's trajectory in NXT, and it's not even just the idea of what you said, he's not really involved in either picture, but Finn is a guy in NXT that if you really look at when he loses, he's very well protected in NXT right now. Because even that qualifier, like we said, Thatcher was the one that went to sleep and got knocked out.
Yeah.
Finn was just incapacitated because of an ankle lock. When he lost to Dream, it was because Thatcher blindsided him, right? So Finn is incredibly well protected. And I say that because he's Finn Balor. He's an institution in NXT, one of its greatest champions. He's protected now. What good is any of that if you're not bringing people up with you? I feel like Thatcher needs to win more than Finn does.
Dude, you know what? I think we're going to kind of do the opposite of what we usually do. I'm jumping ship. I'm jumping ship. I'm picking Finn. You're right. You're 100% right. Finn has literally not lost a singles match in NXT so far.
Yeah. Has he not?
Oh, you know what? I take that back. He lost one, but it was against the NXT champion for the title.
And I think, that, again, wasn't that due to interference and he got low blowed? And so, again, protected, just falling back on that point. Finn is incredibly protected.
Oh, you know what? And he also lost to Cameron Grimes. Again, no thanks to Damian Priest.
Heavily protected.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm jumping ship. You're right. I'm picking Finn. I'm sorry.
I can't believe my logic that I was about to say, so what good is that protection if you're not elevating people? I was going to go with Thatcher. And then because I outlined Finn's NXT trajectory and just the context of that trajectory, you're like, no, wow, that hits so fucking different. Then I guess I'll be the one. How did this happen? Timothy Thatcher. Because, it's Finn Balor. Are any of us really going to think any less of him if he loses here? I wouldn't. Dude could come out and challenge the NXT champion tomorrow, and I'd be like, well, some people are going to take umbrage with that, but I believe it. You have a candidacy. I don't know. I don't feel... Yeah.
You got me. I'm going with Finn with you.
Jeez. Now what do I do? You know what? Fuck it. We'll both go Finn. If we're going to sync, we might as well sync together. Fuck it. How did this happen? All right. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, though, is who's going to interfere? Who does Finn have any feuds with anyone other than Thatcher himself that could be oh, hey, fuck you, Balor, and screw out of the match? I don't think he does.
Yeah. And my original argument was going to be that even though he's not in the picture, like, they've made a big deal about Finn, like, wanting the North American title because he hasn't held it in NXT's history, and Finn is always strongly identified with NXT and its ideals.
Yeah.
So, like, he needs that complete trophy case. That was the word I was looking for. That complete trophy case. And, yeah, so...
You know, the only way that I could see Thatcher winning is if his students are at ringside with him and help him.
I still hope they turn that into a thing, man.
Yeah.
I still hope they turn that into, like, goes
that's the
beyond
only way, though. That's the only way I think he'll win. But, yeah, if it's just straight up one-on-one, no help, if Thatcher does win, it would be fucking historic.
Yeah, and already Foster, proving to be one of our more astute listeners over the years, is like, now I know Thatcher's going to win.
But if he was really astute, he would know that only works if you jump onto my bandwagon, not the other way around.
Yeah, fuck. Because I originally was going to go with Finn, but then I argued, like, I was about to make the argument for Thatcher, and then they're like, wow, that argument actually really works well for Finn. I'm like, fuck it, I'll stay put. Shit. So we'll see what happens, man. But it's going to be crazy if Thatcher wins. I wouldn't mind if Thatcher won, though. Like, I feel like these are two strong guys.
I mean, I love Thatcher. Yeah. If he wins, I'll still be happy. But, like... It just feels like one of those situations where I'll pick Thatcher and we'll be watching it, and Thatcher will go to do a finisher and Finn will reverse it, and then shotgun drop kick, and then coup de grace, and then 1916. It's like, oh well, fuck, I should have seen this coming. I I literally visualize it in my head. It's probably gonna happen, so I'm just gonna, hedge my bet and just go with Finn.
All right, well, let's move on to the next matchup. Keep the momentum going.
All right. Yeah, Foster's like, the algorithm does not compute. Yeah, because I made a pick, and then John convinced me to change my pick, while also somehow convincing himself to change his pick, and then I convinced him to change his pick back. So John literally had no clue what he wanted on that one.
Yeah, we pretty much did the chain wrestling version of, like, argumentation. It was just going hold for hold until finally it's like, fuck.
I was like, I'm picking B, and you're just like, yeah, but A. And then I was like, okay, I'm picking A. And you're like, okay, but now I meant B. And then I was like, wait, what? A, right? And you're like, okay, yeah, A.
Oh, God. Yeah, let's not do that again, please. Let's hope that this match is a bit easier.
All right, let's get into, exactly. Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. They ride,
And I go first on this one, so really hyped for this. I think this could be the sleeper of TakeOver, because I feel like Dakota, just in the ring, has really been doing it for me lately. I think she's kind of in a groove right now that's really cool to see, and I think it's coming at the right time. She should have been a stronger contender going into this match. They shouldn't have been, like, kind of waffling on this for that, like, crowbar Tegan story. I still, like, disagree with that even happening, but we got here, right?
Good ratings, we know that.
Yeah. We got here, and that's what matters. The big story being, Dakota's had this change in attitude. She's finally got her opportunity. She's packing Raquel Gonzalez as the heavy, but Io is just, like, also on top of her game. Also, Io Shirai already being on top of her game on top of that, pretty indomitable force. So everything would seem to point that Io's going to retain, and I do want to make it clear that I'm predicting Io to retain, so I'm just going to lock that in. But I do just want to say, because I that's why I love this platform, because, we just go through this, that I think it would be a bit naive to just immediately dismiss Dakota's chances here, because I could sense an upset with this match. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Because of Raquel's presence, I do agree that it could happen. I just don't expect it to.
Right. And I'm right there with you. Like, I'm not discounting the possibility, but I'm going against it anyway, ultimately, in my prediction, because as I see it right now, and obviously this is just subjective thinking until they actually do it or don't do it, I would like the lineage of the NXT Women's Championship, and we've been through this before, and it hasn't happened, because when Bianca was around, I'm like, she's going to get a run eventually, right? And she never did. I would like it to be from Io to Mercedes, and then from Mercedes to Shotzi. I'd like Shotzi to be, like, next after, Mercedes, but Mercedes to be the one to take it off of Io because she's a badass. And with this feud that she's doing with... Because let me tell you something, guys, and I was thinking about this too. Mercedes might have eaten the concrete powerbomb on NXT, and I know we're already acting like her back is fucked. I think the bigger thing is, though, that, like, her and Rhea are going to have a Haas fight.
Yeah.
And to me, that illustrates that Mercedes is a badass.
Well, that's one of the matches that I was saying should have been on this show, or at least could have been on this show.
Yeah, that and Swerve Escobar. I'm so disappointed those two matches didn't make the cut.
Those are the two big ones. Those are the two. And really, like, if we were going to get a 3-hour takeover, you could just trim some time off of the other matches. Like, we don't need 25-minute matches in Takeover. I know that you really like having long matches. Triple H. That's become his thing too. Triple H, for like the last decade and a half, has either been in a world title match or had the longest match on the card at WrestleMania. Like, that's literally become his thing. It's like, ever since he stopped competing for world titles, he just has resorted to having the longest match on every WrestleMania. So, long matches are just kind of Triple H's thing. And it's like, it's leaking into NXT. And really, I shouldn't say leaking as if it's a new thing. It's been leaked into NXT for years now. And it's like the worst part about the product is that the fucking matches go way too goddamn long sometimes. And if we could just trim a little bit of that fat, we could fit 6 or 7 matches onto a takeover instead of having to only have 5 every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, because I do stand by the rating I gave initially, but I'll tell you, if those 2 matches would have made this takeover, it would have broken the fucking scale. I would have been like 12 out of 10 for fuck's sake. Because, like, yeah, but just to finish my point before I hand it off to you, we can round it off and go.
Oh, I just had an idea. So we're not moving on, but finish what you wanted to say before you hand it to me.
Well, no, just to make the point that, like, I know we were all like, oh man, Rhea killed Mercedes, but when Mercedes survives that, goes on to have the Haas fight with Rhea, and she wins, that to me is NXT communicating to the audience, like, Mercedes is not to be fucked with, and she'll be the most believable person to beat Io to me. Just like, you know, Dakota's going to get a great match out of her. Again, it might be the sleeper of the takeover, but I think ultimately Mercedes is going to be the next NXT Women's Champion, is my feeling right now. So I'm just going to hand it over to you now because I've said my piece about this match.
Let's think about what the next takeover is going to be, man.
Well, you figure it's August now, so the next takeover is going to be what, before Survivor Series?
Which is?
I don't know the name of that takeover.
War Games!
Oh, right. Okay.
What are the chances we get a Team Mercedes versus Team Rhea War Games?
Ooh. You know, they're on the table. I mean, because it's
or
still
hell,
a
since we're talking
away.
about Mercedes versus Io, who's to say we don't get a Team Mercedes versus Team Io, and Io just has Rhea and Shotzi on her team for that?
Yeah, see, that I think is more likely, just because there's going to be like so much space between what Rhea and Mercedes are already doing to the Survivor Series weekend takeover that, like, Mercedes Io seems more likely.
I don't even know if Aaliyah would make the roster on that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Robert Stone might just be stubborn and be like, "All right, we need to pick a War Games game. We've got 2," and Mercedes just gives him that look like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he's just like, whoa, what's the problem? It's just like, we have 1. And he's just like, what do you mean? You got to be on the team too.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I am on the team. And Robert's just, well, what about Aaliyah? What about Aaliyah? Well, she's on the team too. No, she isn't.
Bruh, I crunched Shotzi Blackheart, and she still laid on the canvas for like 5 minutes. She's in that War Games cage. Oh, man. War Games. I think that could be a great ground to really build an Io Mercedes feud, just really.
God knows there are enough women, enough amazing, talented women to pull that off too.
Fuck yeah, man! Absolutely.
Fuck yeah! All right, so let's get back to the match itself, though. Io versus Dakota. We're already planning ahead, assuming Io's going to win, so I might as well just lock in that I think Io's going to win.
All right, there we go. So, oh my God, this match. All right, match number 3, bud.
That's the big one. The 5-way NXT or North American Championship ladder match. We have got Bronson Reed versus Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes versus Johnny Gargano versus Velvet Teenager Dream.
Yep. You go first since I went first on the last one.
I'm going to just stop talking about Dream. Actually, dude, here's the fucking scary thing. What if he wins?
Dude, I'm hoping Kushida. This is the only time I've ever rooted for Kushida to do anything.
Yes! Dream is on the top of the ladder. He's got a hand on the briefcase, or he's got a hand on the title. And next thing you know, Kushida just shows up out of nowhere. He time traveled. He's back from the future to knock your ass off the ladder and beat you down.
I will be a full-blown fucking simp for that countering petulant fuck if he knocks Velveteen Dream off the ladder. I'm like, please, Super Blue, if you ever wanted me to care about Kushida, hear me right now. This is how you do it. I'll answer every asinine question.
He'll comment on this video responding to you in like 2 days.
Yeah, like, oh, it's about time, John. Welcome to the club. No club membership. This is a tentative alliance. Don't fuck this up, Kushida. But yeah, I'm getting back on some real shit because I don't want to derail your momentum since you did pose the question. I am really fucking hoping not, dude. If you want me to be honest, since you probed this, I'm kind of hoping that the media backlash, although I highly doubt this will happen, that they'll write Dream out of the match. Like, maybe he got taken out backstage or something, and, like, then they just decide, oh, I guess the winner of Finn versus Thatcher really will get the final spot, and then Finn finally fucking gets it, which, you already know why I would hate that from just the more fan perspective, but, I mean, hell, I'll swallow the fucking pill to get Dream out of there, but I do think he's going to be in the match, so going back to that, I just really hope that Kushida does a run in and costs him, because if he wins the title, like, let's just even put aside for 1 second what he did and the moral stuff. Just from a business perspective and just from a perspective of optics, what the fuck are you actually doing? Yeah. Like, this dude, because even, like, I will be as radically charitable as possible. And let's just say that, like, maybe there was his name has been so dragged through the mud and so denounced universally by everybody that even if it was this massive conspiracy, which is fucking laughable, but again, being radically charitable for the point, he has become such a toxic asset regardless. Why would you center him on your product with a championship, no less? Yeah. There is no fucking rhyme or reason for it, dude. It would be the worst. But again, it's WWE, so, like, you have every right to ask the question. I just hope that they're not. I mean, yeah,
like, if the DNC can get away with platforming a fucking weirdo and a fucking creep and a guy that's been accused of all kinds of shit, who's to say WWE can't?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2020, bro. Nothing
Transparency is out the window.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking exactly. So, fine. Well, you know what, though? I like how you kind of started the discussion because I was just going to turn up, but you've kept me grounded. So we'll just go through one by one. You said Velveteen Dream. Johnny Gargano, what do we think his chances are? Because I don't think he's winning. But
what I would say is I think that the biggest knock against Dream and Gargano both is that they've both already held it. I don't think that there's going to be a two-time North American Championship this early. Or North American champion, I should say, this early. So just those two guys in particular, I think, are kind of easy guys to kind of count out, easy guys to kind of bet against, because I really don't think they're going to go with the two-time North American champion, literally, like 2 or 3 years after the title's creation.
Yeah. And then we get to the three that I think all in their own ways could be regarded as like a favorite.
Yep.
I'm gonna say my personal favorite for that, Bronson Reed. They've really been building Bronson Reed up these last few weeks, dude.
Yes. What though? In my mind, they're doing that to trick us into thinking he has a chance. I really don't think he does.
And see, I take the cynical position as well, and by that I mean that I think they're merely building him up so, like, we can be more okay. He's more palatable in the match itself. Yeah. Like, okay, they've done the time building him up. He's not such an outlier anymore. Yeah. He fits,
They've basically made him feel like he belongs.
Right. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. Didn't expect you to pop in. Damian Priest, who I've actually heard a lot of people consider like he's going to win on Saturday. Yeah. So how do you feel about Damian Priest?
He's definitely number 2. As far as who I think most likely to win is. I think he's the second most likely to win in this. I don't necessarily think he should win. I don't think he needs to win. But if he does win, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't hate it if he would win, really. I think it would be pretty cool for him. He's definitely been putting on some pretty good matches. He's put in the time. He's put in the work. It also wouldn't surprise me if Vince fucking loves him and wants him as soon as possible on one of the other 2 main roster shows. So I think that maybe even makes his chances a little less because he's tall and he looks kind of like Baron Corbin did when he first got called up as far as like the, tall, dark and long hair and that kind of thing. and he's got like the best voice in the history of pro wrestling right now. So there's definitely a lot going for him that you would expect Vince to love. Plus, he's an athletic dude, and he can do some crazy shit too. So I think he's the most likely. Like, if you were to list the 5 guys in this match, I think that Damian Priest is the most likely one to get called up within the next 3 months.
Yeah, honestly, I loved your breakdown of Priest because I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Priest, to me, I think he brings a lot of value. And I'm being super serious because I know when we get to the last guy, I'm just going to want to turn up and not give a fuck. But with Priest, there's a lot of value. Great voice, great look, and he's honestly a guy, and I've said this the last few takeovers, when you put him in a big spot, and I'm like, okay, it's Damian Priest, he's Ishii-like to me, because there's only one Ishii, but he's the sense of, like, I kind of sleep on him, and then it's like, you know what, that was actually a pretty good match.
Right.
And I feel like he would fit so well in SmackDown's scheme. Like, I see him as, like, either a future U.S. or Intercontinental champion. Like, that just seems so perfect for him where he's at right now.
I think especially U.S. That would work even better than IC, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But that's just really
he gets drafted to SmackDown in November or October, when they always fucking switch the mid-card belts anyway. So we can just have them switch. The U.S. title ends up on SmackDown. Priest ends up on SmackDown. The stars are aligning. There you go, bud.
Yeah, no, I agree with your analysis of Priest 10,000%. I will say, though, in the context of NXT and keeping myself grounded in the present in this match, he's probably the guy, since Finn's not in it, that I worry about the most.
Right.
And then we get to the final fucking guy, which, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about first.
Okay. I'll join in with you to do some things, but okay.
Fucking Cameron Grimes.
Where's he going?
After this takeover, he goes straight to the moon! Oh, God. Dude, I need to ask you something real quick here.
Okay.
Have you, like, seen this dude's Instagram?
No, I can't say I have.
Because, like, he has this video. It's, like, a bit older. It was when he was feuding with Priest. He actually cuts a promo on Priest while working out on a stationary bike. And then he really goes hard on the bike as he says his catchphrase, to the moon. This dude is a fucking treasure, okay? Like, with how depressing NXT was, like, last night with, like, the Dream and everything, I even said, Velveteen Dream's not ruining my fucking mood takeover weekend, because I fucking adore Cameron Grimes. I'd love to talk about just how much I adore it, but I'm really trying to save something for 5 beginning of September.
Yes,
but, like,
that is literally 2 weeks away. Like, really, at this point, it's closer to a week and a half away. September 1st will be 5 y'all.
Yeah, so, like, but suffice it to say, guys, Cameron Grimes, I fucking adore the dude, and even beyond my adoration, I mean, let's just look at his trajectory. He's clearly been positioned as one of the workhorses of the brand. Like, when he comes out, you know that he's going to give somebody their best match in a while, if not maybe ever, depending on who we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he's worked with such guys as Finn Balor. He has worked with Priest, did the mini program with him. Keith Lee's worked with him before. Dijakovic. I mean, he's worked with guys that, like, his association with these guys, because there's obviously other guys he won't be able to associate with because he's a heel, that you just feel like that championship is inevitable. And I'm sorry, man, like, I know I'm definitely colored by my bias. I wouldn't say anything to the contrary. But I saw him with that North American Championship on the Go Home show, and I'm like, that is such a perfect goddamn fit. To me, he should win this match. I'm not going to say he needs to win or he's, like, even going to win. Even though I am totally gonna say that part because
we're both picking him for sure.
But I feel like that championship belongs to him. I feel like he could do amazing things for the North American title. And when you look at its lineage too, I mean, its first champion was Adam Cole, who, really does. He was like the indie guy, could do, the workhorse type matches going 30 plus minutes.
Yep.
Then who was the second champ? Was Gargano the second champ? Ricochet. Then
Gargano.
Then Gargano.
Then Dream.
Dream was the only one that really broke that mold of, like, workhorse type, because he's not like that type.
And all of his matches, though, at takeovers were against workhorse types.
Exactly. So I look at the people that we got going with, and I'm going to be totally fucking brash here because I know who the former North American champions were. He might be the best representative of that workhorse spirit of that title if he wins it.
Yeah.
Like, I would be I shit you not, guys. I would be so fucking stoked for his takeover matches as North American champion if he wins the title. Like,
and not just the matches, but the feuds and the build-up leading to him.
And dude, his fucking personality, cutting promos on these people, like.
We talked about it the other week about how it's such a great juxtaposition that he's like this completely sleazy, gross slime ball on the mic, and then he gets in the ring and he's so fucking clean and so crisp. It's great.
Yeah, dude, it's perfection. It's perfection. Like, this is the stuff, because I've even said to people, look, if you really want to see me care about wrestling, like, I've actively gone out of my way to tweet about, like, the 5-star Grand Prix, for instance, because I've just been loving what Stardom's doing. If you want to locate something that I genuinely really care about and am really invested in, you can hear the change in my voice and my energy and everything, in WWE, it's Cameron Grimes. Now, notice what I said there. I didn't say John Morrison. I said Cameron Grimes. Because Morrison, to me, is just doing nothing right now. Kyrie's gone. And I adore Baysha and Asuka, but, like, I don't feel that connection with them that I feel with guys that are just as good and as complete as Cameron Grimes is. This dude is killing it. If he doesn't win, I will genuinely, just as a fan, have a visceral reaction, and I'll be like, you fucking blew it. And especially, oh my God, if they actually put the title on Dream over Cameron Grimes, ooh. But yeah, I'm locking it in. Cameron Grimes to the fucking moon, baby. And you can order all those other competitors in Uber while they chortle my fucking balls. Let's do it, Cameron. New North American champion. Let's get it done. Yeah.
Dude, you know what would really make this complete is if he got, like, 10 minutes of mic time before this match to cut a promo on all 4 of his opponents.
I can only get so erect. Like, I actually feel a bit emotional hearing you say that, because it's like, it's so perfect. Just run them all down. And, like, he's already gotten the best line on Priest. He never got him that Uber, but he laid him the fuck out in the parking lot. You know? I just want to see him.
Want me to call you an Uber?
First of all, that was a solid 8 out of 10. Second of all, again, yes, call everybody the fucking Uber. Like, yes. And dude, can I just say too, because, like, I wanted to say this originally, and then you made me remember this point, so thank you. I love how this dude can say the most basic shit, because he's really just talking. He's not really meant to be quotable, except for the two and stuff, but he's so quotable even when he's not trying. Because that fucking accent, dude, and his delivery, like, and his laugh. Oh my God, when he laughs at people. Like, because here's the thing, and I realize this about myself, and I want to reiterate something to these guys that I said to you, Ashton, in Facebook conversation. I said to you that, like, I'm kind of burnt out on every heel that's like, oh my God, they're so evil. They're so they're eating puppies. Who's going to stop them? Oh my God. Like, I'm burnt out on it because it's like, you know, with all the things going on in the world, you can't have a heel that tops a fucking pandemic, right? Like, the pandemic's going to get the most heat out of anything.
Right.
And then when it comes to the comedy heel, like, I know a lot of people would go to, like, a Chris Jericho, but, like, he's old. Like, fuck Chris Jericho. So, like, I'm putting him in the corner. Like, Cameron Grimes is the perfect heel to me because he's so amused by his own bullshit. And I love it. I love how much this man clearly loves himself, but he's not even a narcissist character. He just really believes in himself. And that's amazing to me. I love it. It's such a straightforward heel character. It's not overly complex. It's not, like, ice-hearted or whatever. He's just an asshole. And, like, it works. And he's so good in the ring. Like, yes. Cameron Grimes, North American champion. Please.
I will say, as great as he is on the mic in NXT, I still just miss his days in PWG when he was allowed to swear on the mic. I just imagine him within a PWG context being able to cut a promo on Damian Priest, calling him a baritone son of a bitch.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like, nothing will ever, like, top to me PWG Trevor Lee, but it's amazing to me that his promos are still entertaining and he doesn't even swear. Yeah. Like, he can't use swear words as a crutch. Like, that's incredible to me. So, yeah, I'm all about it. I'm all fucking about it.
All right, let's move on to Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole, baby.
So, technically, because I let you broach the ladder match, I get to go first on this, and I'm about to get a group glare here.
No, you're not. I think most people probably agree with what you're about to say.
No, I don't think so. Pat McAfee's winning.
Yeah.
And, well, here's the thing. I think he's winning because Undisputed Era turns on Adam Cole.
Ooh.
And I felt this way for a while. So here's my logic, right? Adam Cole has the podcast appearance on McAfee's show.
Yeah.
Afterwards, Roderick even says he had a promo. I don't know if you remember this, but I paid attention to what he said because it was before his triple threat match. And he said things are getting weird. And like Undisputed Era, I don't know if he said Undisputed Era is in a weird place or like that they need to bounce back, but he referenced that Undisputed Era, things haven't really been going their way. Cole issues the apology on Twitter. Then they do the whole thing. McAfee comes on the show. Cole costs O'Reilly and Fish the NXT tag titles because they saw Cole go over, flap his gums at McAfee.
Yeah.
O'Reilly looks over. Imperium capitalizes. By the way, Roderick lost his triple threat. I think he even ate the pin, if I'm not mistaken. Either he did or Johnny did. But either way, Roderick
no, he
lost.
did. If he wouldn't have, he would have gotten another chance. But he did, and then Johnny got the other chance.
Right. That's right. So my reasoning is, nobody helped Roddy. I mean, you could extend the same argument, to be fair, to O'Reilly and Fish, but Cole's the leader. And, wasn't there for Roderick. And he actively, had a hand in costing, however incidentally, Fish and O'Reilly the tag titles. I see them screwing Cole, because here's the thing, too, and I want to explain my kind of overarching reason. If Cole's doing a babyface turn, what do you do, unless, of course, the NXT Championship, which we'll get to in a few moments, but, I'm not so sure about that. Cole just got done having a record-breaking reign. He doesn't need to get right back into the thick of the title picture when he was the title picture for over a year.
Yeah.
So, to me, Undisputed Era costs Cole, which is humiliating to him, right? Because we know what a proud guy Cole is. And then I can just visualize, and I've been thinking about this for a while. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't know if you were going to think I was ridiculous or if our chat was going to think I was ridiculous, but I really believe this. They come out and they say, Cole, it's funny. You let Pat McAfee get to you so damn bad that you forgot what was really important. What was really important, Cole, was us, was the Undisputed Era. But you got so obsessed with Pat McAfee that there was no longer an Undisputed Era. There was only Adam Cole and his friends. But that's the funny thing, Adam, friends. Where were you for your friends when Roddy didn't get into the North American Championship ladder match? In fact, where were you for your friends? You were actively a part of the reason why Fish and O'Reilly, or maybe O'Reilly speaking like Fish and I, lost the tag titles because you were so focused on Pat McAfee, even when Roderick told you that our match is going on, that my concern was with you, and we looked at you, and we put you first. But you never put us first, so we're not the NXT Tag Team Champions, even when we should be holding these right now. And then it all clicked for us that, well, if you're just going into business for yourself, there really is no Undisputed Era anymore. And we thought, why are we here? And you never saw it coming. So I think Undisputed Era is going to see that Cole has gotten way detached from the group's focus. He's lost focus in the faction. Blowing up at Pat McAfee wasn't a good look for the group because it derailed their momentum. And for them, they're excising the cancer from Undisputed Era. And so, yeah, I think Pat McAfee wins, and Cole's next big feud is going to be with, most prominently, I would hope Kyle O'Reilly, because we know what they can do in New Japan and ROH.
Yeah.
But his next feud is going to be with Undisputed Era. I think Undisputed Era is going to fucking screw Cole, and Pat McAfee wins. That's my prediction.
I love that. To be fair, I was picking McAfee to win regardless. I didn't really have a story in my head as far as why he would win, but I was picking McAfee to win. That's why as soon as you said Pat McAfee wins, I was like, yep. But I love that. That never even occurred to me that was even an option, but the attention to detail. Chiefin even said the same thing in chat. Chiefin literally said, fuck it. I have Pat McAfee winning this with Undisputed Era turning on Adam Cole with O'Reilly as the new leader. And why? Look at how pissed O'Reilly was when Adam distracted them and cost Undisputed Era the tag titles. So you and Chiefin had literally the exact same thought, and you both basically spit him out at the same time. So I know that you weren't copying one another or anything like that, because you had your idea. You basically presented your idea at the beginning as I saw Chiefin's message come up in chat, and then you extrapolate, you elaborated. So That, I don't know. I guess I just don't pay enough attention to the details on the first watch through, because I know we used to always rewatch Lucha Underground to kind of get the details and then review it afterwards and stuff. But man, I love that. I love that. And I don't know if McAfee's going to stick around. I hope he does, because holy fuck, is he in a goddamn amazing promo. Legitimately one of the best promos of the entire year so far, in my opinion. Just on Wednesday, just last night, the one that he cut on Adam. And then Adam's just like, I'm gonna make you my bitch. But like, you're absolutely right. He really did let himself get fucking worked by Pat. He really did let himself get worked up. He basically let Pat live rent-free in his head. And now he is more of a liability to the rest of Undisputed Era than he is a help as their leader. Like, he doesn't have the NXT championship anymore, so what good is he to them if all he's going to do is stop them from winning titles because of his own personal bullshit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. I'm 100% on board with that. I love that. I really hope you're right about that. I hope that's exactly what happens on Saturday.
Dude, I just want to say two more things, since I already did like the big exposition and everything. I agree with you 10,000% on McAfee. The dude's really stepped into this, and he's taking this seriously. That's why I'm hoping he doesn't shit the bed at TakeOver. I'm not expecting a 5-star match, but if he at least looks competent in there and just like Cole be the ring general, which obviously he's going to be, like, I'll be happy. I will, I'm not asking that much of McAfee. Maybe just sell a little, little bit, be able to do a couple moves here and there, and let Undisputed Era do the rest. And I'll especially believe it, because I don't know if they're going to do any cockamamie ref bumps. I would like if they added a stip to this last minute. Kind of like they did before Austin's heel turn at WrestleMania 17. This match is now no holds barred, like right as entrances were about to happen. But yeah, like, I'm really hoping McAfee can seal the deal in the ring enough, because, man, if he can, like, he has just shown everybody that, like, your level of experience isn't an excuse. Either you've got it, or, like, you don't, or you're not working at it, or you are. Yeah. And, like, damn, dude. Such good shit. Yeah. Such good shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, is I love what McAfee said on Wednesday. He literally said, I've made $1 million in 7 different professions, and you wrestling fans better hope that I don't stick around and choose to do this, because this will be the 8th if I do. It's like, holy shit, this dude.
Yeah, and so good. Yeah, oh my god, dude, that promo was fucking incredible. And like, take notes, literally like Ronda, Charlotte, Nia Jax.
Dude, I was even gonna say, literally, like, I think, I don't know if there is a single person in the WWE who has cut a promo on that level, not named Samoa Joe, in the last like 5 years.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, Joe, to me, is the only dude, the only person on that level. Maybe Becky. I guess maybe Becky. I don't know. Like, Becky's promo style doesn't really hit as home to me when she's playing, like, the tough guy role. I much preferred, like, vulnerable, underdog, punny Becky Lynch to the tough guy, the man Becky Lynch. But, like, I guess you could make an argument that her promos are up there, just to the general public. But other than her and Joe, nobody can touch what McAfee did last night.
I 100% agree with you. And then the second point I wanted to make very quickly, just kind of touching, because again, me and Chiefin practically had the same thought. With O'Reilly as the new leader of UE, if this shit goes down, that is so exciting to me for like the heavyweight division, because O'Reilly really is. He's got an understated charisma that I think a lot of people know about, but he doesn't get to really show it like as often as he probably could if he was like a main guy. And I think him and Cole could do some banger stuff. And like, I'm really excited about that. So I'm hoping you and I are right, Chief, because I've honestly had that thought since the tag title matchup that like, oh my God, like, are they slowly gonna do that? They could have maybe laid a few more hints, so I don't want to put too much into it, but yeah, that's really what I'm thinking, man. So we'll see, but I'm excited for this, just for the narrative potential, because something's gonna happen here, I think. I'm excited.
I'm trying to think if there are any other former real sports athletes in NXT that could potentially like take Pat McAfee's side if they were to do a Team McAfee versus Team Cole War Games and hold off Undisputed Era turning until then. So we could do like the 4 dudes in Undisputed Era versus McAfee and 3 other guys.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't want it to be his 3 friends that he brought out last night, because I like one dude that isn't a really well trained wrestler is enough. We don't need 4 in there.
I would hope that they tell the story of, like, even if Adam Cole feels like he represents NXT, he made a lot of enemies during his title reign, so McAfee could just round a couple of those guys up.
Yeah,
and be like,
that could work. That could potentially work.
Yeah,
I don't know.
see.
It's an exciting time for NXT right now, though, especially just regarding this feud. There's a lot of other exciting things going on, though, including, and arguably the most exciting thing going on, is Keith Lee as World Heavyweight Champion right now. Now, don't get me wrong, I was loving Keith Lee's North American title run, but in my mind, he needed to win both titles if the choice was between him and Adam Cole. Adam Cole's done everything that there is to do. He was the first ever North American champion, longest reigning world champion. He did not need to be a double champion. Keith Lee sure as shit did, and they let him have that for a week. And then he surrendered the North American title, and now he's just the world champion, which is still great, but he's immediately going to have to defend it against probably the most likely person to take it off of him, which scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, dude. Matches like this are always so special because, and maybe for all the wrong reasons, because they're two really well built up guys going head to head for, like, the prize. You know it's going to main event, and you just wonder, like, well, who do you give the nod to? Because this is quintessential booking yourself into a corner.
Yep.
So because I did a lot of exposition for Cole McAfee, I mean, where are you kind of falling, man? What are you thinking is going to ultimately happen here? And, like,
there is one and only one way that I could see this playing out that would not piss off a significant number of people. And that is Tommaso Ciampa costs Kross this match.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
That is the only way out to me. That is the only really even reasonably logical way to have this match play out in a way that will not piss a significant number of people off. And, like, you're still going to piss some people off because there are just some people that don't like interference in main event matches and world title matches to begin with. But that's a significantly smaller portion of people that would be pissed off if Lee lost or if Kross lost, just straight up.
Yeah, I see, dude. And the other thing is, too, what keeps being at the forefront of my mind, right, is that if Kross loses, I feel like his mystique for his type of character already kind of takes a hit that it shouldn't necessarily take. But at the same time, though, and also I would admit, like, Keith Lee should be going into this match hampered because of the whole fireball thing. Like, I feel like it's going to be a story like, is Keith even 100% because he ate a fucking fireball in the face?
Yeah. How long into the match do you think it takes for Kross to do, like, an eye poke or an eye rake?
I would say within the first 5 minutes at least. I don't think it'll take that long at all.
I was going to say maybe even with the first, like, minute.
Yeah, exactly. But then, like, to me, dude, and maybe I'm overthinking this, to be fair, but I think if Lee were to win against a guy that's been built up like Kross with an injury on top of it, I enjoy Keith Lee, but, like, that just smells like Super Lee to me. Like, oh god, well, you know, if he can win this, then who can I expect to beat him with the title? That was kind of the similar problem we had with like Matanza and Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
You know, they found the work around it, but, you know, and again, I like Keith Lee. That's not meant to be a diss, but, you know, it's just more about the booking than anything. If Kross wins, though, and see, you say Ciampa interfering. The only other, like, logical explanation to me for Keith dropping the title so soon would be a call-up. Would be if he was going to Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, that's true. But that would be another one of those situations, though, where it would be like, if he drops the title and doesn't show up literally, like, on SummerSlam or the post-SummerSlam Raw, that's going to piss a lot of people off. Like, even if they just wanted to wait until the draft in October to call him up, that's still 2 months too long. Like, you don't have Keith fucking Lee drop the championship 2 months before he gets called up. You have him drop the title the night before, or maybe even a little after he gets called up. We've had NXT champions, I should say, get called up and then lose the title after having been called up before. That's happened a few times before. Happened with Kevins, happened with fucking didn't Finn? No, he dropped it beforehand. But there's been, I know for a fact Kevin Owens was called up before he dropped the title. What? Shayna still had the title, didn't she, when she got called up? Or she dropped, or no? Do you remember, John?
Wait, which champion are we talking about?
Shayna
here?
Baszler. Was Shayna Baszler still champion when she got called up?
No, I don't think she was.
No. When did she get? Was it Rumble that she got called up? It was Rumble.
Yeah, I believe it was.
And she dropped the
Rhea
title in
before
December.
that.
So no, she didn't. So unless we count the women's championship, maybe it really is just Kevin Owens, and I'm just going out on a limb here. But still, like, to me, Keith Lee needs to hold that title for basically as long as he can get away with holding it, and for him to be dropping it. When did he even win that? 3 months ago? 2 months ago?
A
month ago?
Sounds about right. Yeah, 2 months maybe. Sounds about right. So yeah, like, I don't know, man. I just feel like you've got a reign like that, and unless they were going to call him up, but again though, I feel like especially for diehard Keith Lee fans, it's not just a matter of calling him up. Like, what are you having him do? Because this is a guy that Roman gave a fist bump to. So not only do you have to call him up, I would almost give Keith Lee, honestly, the Finn Balor treatment when he originally got called up. Like, you have him go after a big gun right away.
World
not
title
necessarily
immediately, yeah.
Yeah. Like, if he's not confronting like a Drew or just some big name, even if they don't have the title, yeah, like, you're doing it wrong to me. So, but then it comes back to who wins this match. Oh, fuck.
Oh, he's only had it for a month and a half, dude.
Oh, wow, not even 2 months, huh?
He won that title. Let's see. Great American Bash. He won that title July 8th.
Okay. Damn. Yeah. And we can't, and see, to me, I just want to get ahead of this too and say, like, I personally am not even inclined to say, like, oh, double count out or whatever, because takeovers usually have decisive finishes, traditionally. So they're going to commit to a winner here. You know what?
I don't think it should be what happens, but I think that it's what NXT is going to do. I think that they see, maybe, you know what, dude? Maybe this might also be like them fucking pulling the emergency lever, you know, they'll break glass in case of emergency. Maybe they are trying to blame the ratings on Keith, and they want to get the title off of him because of it.
Yeah.
Because they've been getting their asses kicked by AEW over the last couple months.
Yeah. I was about to go Keith Lee to retain, honestly, but you saying that and bringing the ratings into it when Vince is, like, so warped and competitive, and I hate to even say Vince with NXT, but yeah, it seems like he's taking the fucking reins, and it's just like, oh, we gotta beat AEW, damn it. I very tentatively and very dispiritedly go with Kross. I like Karrion Kross, but I just feel like Keith Lee didn't even really begin to be NXT champion.
Yeah. He had one match against Dijakovic, and it was far from their best match. And just immediately we get into him dropping the title.
I'll tell you, because, like, here's the thing, too. I don't want them to treat the title like a hot potato either. So I don't want, like, Lee to drop the title and then him beat Kross right back, and then who's really the better man, you know, whatever. Maybe we'll do Team Kross versus Team Lee at War Games. Maybe. I don't fucking know. But, like, what I'm getting to is, if you're going to take the title off Keith Lee, if it is a call-up that they're gearing towards, you better have that dude do some big shit. Like, if he's not, like, feuding with, say, if Braun Strowman's Universal Champion after SummerSlam or whatever, and he's still a heel, or, like, on Raw kicking Randy Orton's ass for all the punting he's been fucking doing, like, you're making a mistake here. So I'm going to very dispiritedly say that Karrion Kross is the new NXT champion, and it's nothing against Kross. I just think it might be a bit too soon in this case, because here's the thing. Like, unlike The Fiend, where we had crowd reactions and the crowd really seemed into him, and we're like, now's the time, we don't know how crowds would be responding to Kross right now. I'm assuming they'd be into him, but you can't say that for sure. So I do think in this context, when you don't have fans, when you don't have the barometer that you're used to, it might be a bit too soon to put the title on him, but I think that's what they're going to do. So, Karrion Kross for NXT champion, unfortunately.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, see, Chiefin said, oh, he's going to be another one of the NXT baby faces that has a short reign, like Gargano and Nakamura and Zayn, but, like, Nakamura they treated his reign as like one long reign that just kind of got interrupted by Samoa Joe, because he had 2 reigns, and it was like the one reign went for like 90 something days, and then the other reign went for 50 something days, and there was just like a brief 2-week Samoa Joe hiccup in the middle of that. So really, you shouldn't even count Nakamura in that group. And fucking Gargano and Zayn were literally underdog baby faces. Like, that's... I will never, or at least I hope that I never, have the gall to complain about an underdog babyface getting a short title reign. Because if you're the underdog, you shouldn't be able to keep the title for a very long time. That's what makes you a fucking underdog. If you get a long title reign, you're no longer the underdog. You become the favorite. That's the point of being an underdog, is that you're supposed to not win a lot. So, like,
right.
Well, yeah, like, that's the fucking John Cena logic. Like, oh, John Cena's the underdog, even though he wins every goddamn match. Like, no, you're not the underdog at that point. If you have a long title reign, you are no longer the underdog. Gargano and Zayn were underdogs. They literally, I want to say they both lost their titles their first defenses, which is fine for underdog baby faces. Keith Lee's not an underdog. Keith Lee's a fucking monster. This dude's 6'3", 350. There's nothing underdog about him at all. He should not be having this short of a reign. I hate the timing of this. They should have given Keith Lee the title earlier, or they should have held off on this feud until at least War Games, if not the Royal Rumble weekend takeover.
Yeah, I agree, man. The timing is what really sucks about this. And again, it's not even Kross's fault. I love Karrion Kross. I can't stress that enough. I just feel like Lee could be getting done dirty here. And again, I would only accept that if there was a grander plan here, like either main roster or otherwise, but it's fucking WWE. They're still internally like tearing up scripts the day of shows. They don't have a plan.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm picking Keith Lee to retain. Fuck it. I can't do it. I can't do my boy Keith that dirty. I can't do it. Even if it's just like a quick, like, oh, oops, I happened to roll onto your shoulders for 3 seconds, and then you just like sit up angrily afterwards, and maybe Kross even beats the shit out of Lee after the match, and that's when Ciampa comes back to save Keith, and then maybe Ciampa even turns on Keith or something. Like, there's a lot that you could do with it. You don't have to put the title on Kross right now. You don't have to do it. It's not a necessity. You can have Kross maybe even eventually challenge for the North American title. There's a lot of shit that Kross could do right now. He does not need to become the World Heavyweight Champion 4 months after he debuted, or however long it was. This dude is great. He has money. You can even call him up. You can put him on SmackDown, have him interact with The Fiend. That would be great shit. He doesn't need to win the World Heavyweight Championship right now, especially not when it would derail Keith's momentum. Keith is too good right now as your world champion. I don't give a fuck what the ratings say. You need to learn that being reactive to ratings is how you fucking lose ratings. So believe in Keith Lee, stick with Keith Lee, keep the title on Keith Lee, find a way to have him beat Kross that doesn't kill Kross's momentum or his credibility. You're a fucking wrestling company. You have literal creative writers on your staff. Tell them to get creative with it. Have them be creative with how Keith Lee wins this match without killing any of Kross's credibility. I don't give a shit. Keith Lee needs to retain. I'm picking him to retain. Fuck it.
That was one of your most passionate rants in a while. I'm here for it. But because I loved it so much, I'm going to stick to my guns and say Kross, only because, like, if I do switch, I don't want to sink the Keith Lee ship. So I think it's best for me if I stay on the Karrion Kross side. And again, I want to extend my apologies to Javaris and stuff. Again, that is nothing against Keith Lee. That, again, is a complete indictment of the booking. And I just feel like, yeah, they see Kross as the hot commodity. And what really distresses me about Keith, if I'm right in my pick of Kross, they do not have a grand plan for him. They do not have an overarching story for him. This is a company, again, that tears up scripts the day of shows. They don't have a plan for him. That NXT championship is keeping him safe right now from the ineptitude of the writing team. So I'm hoping he stays safe. I'm not counting on it. I'm unfortunately locking in Karrion Kross, but I really hope that you're right, dude, because Keith shouldn't be done that dirty. He's such a likable champion. He's not an underdog babyface, but he gets away with it, though, and that's so rare. That's so rare when you have a babyface that isn't even an underdog, that like has the same aura as like a Reigns or a Cena, but doesn't feel shoved down our throats, at least not yet. I doubt he ever would. At least that's my hope, because he just has this charm and this likability that should really be embraced and should really be maximized. I just don't believe in the company to do it, and that's what it comes down to. So, Kross for new NXT champion.
Fuck, I hope you're wrong. I'm sure you hope.
I hope so too, man.
Yeah,
I hope so, yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, damn, I wasn't expecting to, honestly, dude, I wasn't expecting to pick Keith, but all this talking about all the bullshit, like, I just am like, no, fuck you, NXT. You're professional writers. You have no excuses. There's no such thing as booking yourself into a corner if you're fucking competent. You can book yourselves out of a corner if you're fucking competent. Show me that you're fucking competent, NXT writers, please.
Yeah, absolutely. After running down the whole card, you know what? And thinking about what this card could have been, I'm going to readjust my hype a little bit. I'll say I'm a solid, like, 8.5 still. So I'll take a full point off because I think the deficiencies you pointed out in this card, definitely true. But you know what?
See, and some of the discussions that we had actually increased my score. I'm up to an 8 now.
Nice. So see, now we're back at that margin that we normally start with. Nice. Yeah. I still can't believe, dude, that not only did you not laugh at my explanation for McAfee Cole, you actually loved it, and you're hoping that happens. So that made me feel good.
Well, that's one of the reasons my score went up, dude. That might be the biggest reason my score went up.
Yeah, because, like, oh my god, dude, if that happens, holy shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, and really for me, fucking Cameron Grimes to the moon. Like, I'm ready to go to, like, this man, and this is damn, I wanted to use this line when we talked about the match. Why do I always forget my best stuff until the end? I wanted to say that nobody has made the moon this interesting since Neil fucking Armstrong, okay? Cameron Grimes needs to have a sponsorship with fucking NASA. WWE is wasting an opportunity here.
As if NASA has the funding to sponsor anyone, please.
Well, then WWE should sponsor NASA with, like, fucking Cameron Grimes is the intermediary. Like, yes. So I hear y'all can take me to the moon.
There you go. Yeah. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. WWE needs to give NASA money for NASA to advertise Cameron Grimes.
But you know what? When you're doing your outro, I'm tweeting that because I'm just so aroused by my own big brain shit. So yeah, fucking WWE NASA collaboration with Cameron Grimes. Fucking Cameron, like, yes, fucking new North American champion. So that's the match I'm most looking forward to. Didn't you say, correct me if I'm wrong, McAfee Cole's the match you're most looking forward to?
No, I never said that, actually. I never said anything close to that. This is the main event is the match I'm looking most.
Oh, the main event. Okay. So main event's what you're most looking forward to. And yeah, it should hopefully be a solid takeover. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. We got 11 likes on this. Very nice. 16 people still watching. So if you could please leave a like as you file out if you haven't done so already. Click the bell icon, subscribe, so you can stay on top of all that TwitWow goodness. And yeah, we will see you tomorrow. I know we are live reacting to SmackDown, and that's going to be at 8 p.m. And yeah, I was going to say, live reacting to SmackDown at 8, then New Japan Strong at 10, and then SummerSlam preview and predictions at 11. So we've got a triple header tomorrow. It's going to be insane, guys. So yeah, we'll see you all then. And yeah, I'm going to hand it over to Ashley to take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do hope that you all enjoyed our preview predictions tonight. If you did, please like the video. You can also leave a comment down below letting us know what you think is going to happen tonight, or not tonight, on Saturday night at TakeOver 30. We will be doing another preview prediction tomorrow night for SummerSlam. So if you have your SummerSlam predictions, hold off. Just be patient. Wait another 24 and a half hours, and we'll be going live tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern time to predict SummerSlam as well. But all that being said, leave your comment down below this with your TakeOver 30 predictions. Let us know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon to join the notification squad. Follow us on Twitter and on Twitch. If you'd like to support the channel, subscribe on Twitch, buy our merch on Teespring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends, and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities. That's right, we are TwitWow, and we are the workhorses of the Y and T WCs. We will be back tomorrow night with a triple header. SmackDown live reactions at 8, New Japan Strong live reactions at 10, SummerSlam preview predictions at 11. Look forward to all that. Then on Saturday, we will be live reacting to TakeOver 30, as well as the pre-show. So we'll also be live reacting at 6:30 to the kickoff, and then the show itself comes on at 7. Then Sunday, the kickoff, I don't think we'll be live reacting to, but we will be live reacting to SummerSlam itself at 7. Monday, we'll be live reacting to the post-SummerSlam Raw. And then, of course, next Wednesday, we will be right back live reacting to NXT. And if any Stardom shows happen this weekend, we will also be live reacting to those when they get uploaded to Stardom World in full. I'm guessing the earliest possible day that would happen is Tuesday. More likely it'll be Thursday and maybe Friday. I don't know how that'll...
Not to interrupt you, brother, but just because I thought you were going to mention that, Stardom actually put out an update that they had another positive test. So the following Stardom shows have been canceled, postponed. August 22nd in Yokohama, August 23rd in Yokohama, August 29th in Niigata at 8:30. So all the way,
so no Stardom for the next couple weeks. So that takes care of that. So that covers everything then. That means that we're going to be doing our triple header tomorrow night, Takeover Saturday, SummerSlam Sunday, post SummerSlam Raw Monday, and then NXT Wednesday. And of course, we'll also then live react to SmackDown next week because it is the post SummerSlam SmackDown. So you're just getting all the WWE live reactions from us this coming week. We hope that you're looking forward to all of it. And then we'll also be getting into fucking Payback the following week. So there's all kinds of shit coming at you. WWE is overloading our faces with content. And I just hope that everyone is able to, look forward to SmackDown and preview predictions and Strong tomorrow night. On Strong, we're going to be getting Jay White and Flip Gordon. Very excited to see both of those guys tomorrow night. So all that stuff being said, the most important thing that we ask you all to be able to do is remember to stay tuned.